Hey everyone, and welcome or welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, hello, my name is Jess. Just go whatever you want to call me. But if you're not new here, welcome back to the channel. This is myself. That's all. That and the third.
Are you on your way? Are you coming soon to me? No parking in the LA.
As you saw by the title and by the thumbnail, it's the second video in our back to school series. And for this video, we are going to be talking about all things OSU. So whether you're an OSU student or not, I feel like you could probably have a bunch of different takeaways from this. And if you are coming to OSU, first of all, welcome to OHIO, the Ohio State University. I hope that this can help you out. This video is kind of geared towards freshmen, but it can also be useful to anyone who's going to be a transfer student, anyone who's thinking of applying to Ohio State. So feel free to share it around and also take some tips from this. These were mostly like based on like my experience, like things that I've talked about with other people with Ohio State. I'm going to do more videos like that when I get back on campus, but just being here, I wanted to give y'all some insight as it is back to school season and it is my school, so it's like, so a little bit about me. I'm a second year psychology major and I'm also an international student. I'm part of the MSP program here at Ohio State. I feel like since I've had my first year, I can give some kind of tips, things you need to know. This isn't gonna have everything, of course, because I feel like that kind of comes within vlogs and different videos I can do while I'm on campus. So a lot of stuff in here is kind of just like my opinion or like things I feel like every student should know when you come to the main campus. At least I don't have any experience on like the regional campuses, so if you are looking for advice on that, let me know, because I do have some friends who did come from those campuses. So if you ever need help, we got you. Let's get straight into the video because I feel like I've done too much rambling and not enough. Let's get into like the tea, Let's start off with apps to get, because everyone be on their phones all the time, and like if you're gonna be on campus for a semester or two or however many, you're gonna need these apps during the time that you're there, so don't sleep on them. Canvas, which is for Carmen Canvas, which is like the school dashboard. It's kind of like D2L or Pulse for anyone who's in Canada, just so you can kind of gauge what I'm talking about. The OSU app, the Buckeyes app, TripShot, Lyft, Amazon, Duo Mobile, Zoom, GroupMe, and then Cash App. Cash App I put down because it's a way to transfer money. I don't think any place but the States uses Cash App, so I didn't realize how important it was until I got on campus and I finally made my cash tag. I was like, ah. Yeah, you're gonna need it because a lot of orgs use it if you need to pay your dues for certain things, or if you need to just pay in general, or maybe you need to give a friend money, things like that. Next, let's get into housing. So I'm not gonna break down housing. They pretty much break it down on the website. I can do a video on that once I get on campus if y'all would like, but this is just kind of some things you should know about housing in general. For my first year at Ohio State, I lived on campus, and I'm gonna continue to live on campus until like I don't want to anymore. I lived on North Campus, and honestly I prefer North just because of its proximity to certain things that I use all the time, like connecting grounds and places where I meet up for my dance team and things like that. So that's why I like North Campus personally. Everyone has their favorites between North and South Campus, and then there's West Campus, which I feel like no one really marks as their favorite for real. I also lived in an LC. Honestly, I recommend it if you're trying to meet people and if you're new to the area, especially if you're out of state, because it helps you kind of get acquainted with people in your scholars program or whatever program it's for earlier, and you can kind of make friends that way. It kind of helps so that it's like you have a firm base of people that you know. They give a lot of cool programs for you to use, and I feel like if you put in some effort, you gonna reap some stuff from it. So don't sleep on the LC activities, especially. Like a lot of people tend to skip those things, but I feel like it can be really helpful if you're trying to actually get to know people and like use your program to its fullest potential. The next thing I would say is to explore the other dorms. Don't just stay to your dorm. A lot of people do this within the first weeks, which is pretty smart. You can check out other dorms and see the different amenities they have, because every dorm has like different amenities. Some will have game rooms, some will have classrooms, some will have like dance rooms. There's a bunch of different ones, so make sure you explore with your friend. You can get in with your Buck ID when you swipe into like an event space in like Houston House, for example. Sorry about the train, by the way. It's really loud at this time. When it comes to doing your laundry, find a day where no one else is doing it for real, or not a lot of people are doing it, because people will take out your laundry from the dryers just to put theirs in, or even from the washers, which is crazy to me, because what happened to human respect and decency? Like, I understand if it's been like an hour over the time the person was supposed to be there, but you taking it out the minute it finished, So definitely find a day to do the laundry when not a lot of people are doing it. And that being said, there is an app for it, but sometimes it kind of gets buggy and glitches out, so your timer is pretty much cool as well. Just remember what you put your stuff in, because otherwise you not gonna find it. So for anyone who's kind of wondering about like the dorm layouts, how big they are, you can check them out in a bunch of people's videos on YouTube, Pinterest for real. You can even check them out in my old videos. My dorm is in my vlogs a lot. So I would say also just checking out OSU's site for housing in general, because they have layouts of all the rooms, and you probably saw it when you're choosing your room anyways. But if you want to get measurements, especially for buying your stuff now for the dorms, if you haven't started already, it's very helpful with all the measurements for the desk, for the chair, for even like the ground, things like that. And then they also have like a 3D view, so you can view the rooms and look around. Me and my friends had fun with it, and my friends were even going to Ohio State, but it was just like a really cool feature. So definitely use that to kind of get acquainted with the space before you get there. Just as a general rule of thumb, just don't leave your stuff just anywhere. Especially your food. Your food, people will come and pick it up if you haven't picked it up in the nick of time. And I'm not talking about like, oh, maybe they will in broad daylight, maybe. But especially at nighttime when people get hungry and don't want to order their own food, and you're just sitting right there on the front, yeah, babes, if you don't go pick that up, it's gone. So on that same track of food, let's talk about the meal plan. Again, I'm not gonna get into the meal plan. There's this one YouTuber I watch, I think her name is Marissa Nicole. She kind of helped me with the OSU videos a lot when I was trying to figure out if I wanted to go there, like even years ago. But here's her video right here. I'll definitely check it out if you're trying to understand meal plans. But since I am on campus now, and that video was some time ago, I can do an updated version for y'all, since some things might have changed. I'm not really sure though. Honestly, when it comes to our food, it's not that bad compared to other campuses. Like, I've been on other university campuses and the food is just not given, like, ugh. But I feel like the chefs here do a pretty good job, and I've met the chef myself, of like, he kind of coordinates a lot of stuff. So it's been pretty cool to meet some of the chefs and like get to know them. I wouldn't say eat everything. There's some stuff, just be cautious. Broccoli, why is it not steamed? Like, anyways, they also do really good with working around people's allergies. I know a bunch of people who have like multiple allergens, and like they've been good eating this stuff on campus. So you really just gotta know what you're getting for real. Plus there's so many food spots, you could literally go anywhere. That being said, get grade 10. If there's one thing you take away from the meal plan part of this video, get grade 10, because I was an unlimited girly. I'm thinking, oh, I'm gonna be chilling. It's okay. It's not okay. Once your friends with grade 10 or grade 14 start going to other places and using their stuff for real, you're kind of like, wait a minute, wait. Y'all know that TikTok? Wait. Yeah, definitely. If you're trying to figure out what meal plan to get on grade 10, because it's a pretty good plan, and it's only a couple bucks more than unlimited, but you get way more for your buck, in my opinion, than just eating at Traditions all the time and then having like a few buck IDs to spend. I did pretty good with managing. Oh, you don't even get any buck ID actually. Dining dollars is what I mean. I did pretty good with saving my dining dollars, and I still have dining dollars and buck ID even now that I'm not on campus. So that's another thing I'll say. If you can save it, because they roll over every semester. The only things that don't roll over are swipes. Yeah, definitely get on that grade 10, because if I had known, I don't know why I chose unlimited. Like, girl, like, ooh. That being said, buck ID can be used on a various amount of different things. It can be used on the vending machines on campus, on Grubhub's app, and to buy your food in general if you run out of swipe. It can even be used on High Street in some places. On the OSU app, it shows you where buck ID is accepted. They do need to update it. At like Chick-fil-A, you can use your buck ID, so I think that's pretty good, and like it saves you some money. Just be careful. It's gonna turn into Apple Pay if you don't be careful with it, and you're gonna be having 0 or 4 cents in that account. As for dining dollars though, I would say they're more useful to use on campus because you get a discount with them. But you can also use them on Grubhub. It'll just take it as full price as if it was like regular cash, or you're using your buck ID cash. Next, let's move on to transportation. So with transportation, Ohio State is a really big campus. If you haven't seen it, check out the drone shots for real. It's huge, and having to walk, you don't want to walk all the time. I promise you, the weather gonna be nice. You're gonna be like, oh, such a nice day. The minute it gets cold, you're not gonna want to walk. Everyone gonna be on that the bus. So let's talk about busing, cars, all that. One thing I'll say that's really fun to do is using the scooters. And the scooters, you do need the Lime app. That's something I probably should have mentioned. The Lime app, the Bird app, or whatever app is for the specific scooter you get. I prefer Lime because it's just, I don't want to, have different accounts for multiple things. But I definitely recommend night riding with the scooters. Just watch out for the athletes during the day because they be Like they on a mission. But I would say definitely do night riding with a group. As for the buses, there's two type of busing systems that OSU kind of uses. There's our OSU buses, and then there's the Coda buses. So as for the OSU buses, there's two types within it. First, there's a regular scheduled OSU buses, the long ones that you'll see. They kind of remind you of like just regular transit. And those ones can be used to get on different places on campus. So I would definitely recommend going with a group of friends, or even if you want to go by yourself. I feel like a group of friends is more fun though, to test out the buses, just so that you're familiarized with it and you're not getting lost, especially that first week of class. You do not want to get lost on the bus because you're gonna be all the way on West Campus and you were supposed to be on South. So I would definitely recommend just taking time to actually figure out the busing system. As for the other type of bus, it's like a mini white bus. A lot of them you'll see during the day are used for those who need it, whether it comes to disabilities or anything like that. But during the night, you can use the app TripShot that I mentioned earlier to schedule that bus to come and pick you up from wherever you are, as long as it's on campus. Just make sure when you're doing it, you put the right amount of people, because some of the bus people be stingy. And yeah, as for the other busing system, it's called Coda. So Coda is the Columbus transit system, and it's mostly used like on High Street and anywhere that's not considered on campus, if that makes sense. You're most likely going to be taking like the 1, the 2, or the 31, to be honest. Those are like the most popular ones, and you can use it to go like anywhere in Columbus. So I find that pretty cool. We use it to go to the roller skating rink, kind of, and like other things like that. So it's definitely really helpful for going off campus. Just make sure you use maps or the actual Coda app access like when the bus is coming. It's not as accurate as the Ohio State app, to be honest, or at least in my opinion, but it is still pretty close to the timing. Of course, like there's traffic and other things to account for. One thing I forgot to mention is that it's free with your Buck ID, and I'm sure you probably heard this at orientation, but just make sure your Buck ID is on you, because if you don't have that Buck ID, they're gonna be looking for your pass or some sense to put in. Now let's talk about all things cars. So me personally, I still can't drive, but for those of you who do drive and you're trying to have your car on campus, honestly, if you don't have to, I would recommend not having your car on campus, simply for the fact that people do break into the cars. People will flip the cars like during this one time of year. It's really crazy and weird, but you know, people, especially in college, just expect all types of people, for real. I would say it's safer to keep it at like a friend's house who lives near campus and then bus to school or something like that, just so that it's, you know, a bit safer. I've heard that it can also be a pain with Campus Park. I don't have no beef with them right now, but when I do start driving, hopefully we don't have no beef. Honestly, the construction doesn't even make it any better to drive on campus either, so it's just kind of like I'd rather just park my car at a friend's house who lives near campus, take the Coda to campus, do whatever I gotta do, take that Coda back to the car, drive home, you know. As I mentioned earlier, if you don't have a car on campus but you want to go off campus, and let's say the Codas aren't running, or like you're just trying to go somewhere else and not wait for the bus, because the bus can take a while compared to like someone just driving like Uber, we do have that Lyft discount as OSU students, so definitely put it into use. So if you're trying to go off campus and it's pretty far, just plan to spend more. But if you're on campus, you're not gonna pay that much, for real. Now let's talk about off campus. Some events that happen with different orgs will happen off campus, for real, because it's like maybe they just don't have enough space, or they wanted a certain layout of like their event. So just be aware of that. I would also say if you're going shopping, do most of your shopping that you're doing in bulk off campus, because it's going to be cheaper than buying things on campus. On campus at that Target, they're going to charge you an arm and a leg for a highlighter, versus if you go off campus where you're probably going to get it for like $1. So I would just say be cautious of that, especially when you're planning to go shopping. You can also go off campus to go to like the malls like Easton, Polaris. That being said, be very safe and cautious. Get any defense mechanisms you need, yo. I'm not talking about like, you know, pows and stuff like that. But for example, the birdies, they give them out on the top floor of the Union. I'm pretty sure it's the top floor, and it's the thing where you like, you pull it and it goes like the whole alarm thing. Definitely get one of those. I have one. It's somewhere on my keychain. A lot of people get pepper spray from Target. I would recommend getting your pepper spray off campus, because on campus it will sell out quickly at that Target. So I definitely recommend getting it off campus if you can. And then the last thing with being safe, High Street. You got to be very careful on High Street, especially in the night. I would say anywhere from like Thursday to like Saturday, like Sunday morning even. High Street is very busy, especially on game days or like when the sororities and frats have things going on. So just be very cautious because you don't want to get caught up in anything for real on High Street. Okay, so now that we're talking about student life a little bit and getting back into students, let's talk about student life and student organization. Okay, when it comes to the football games, everybody asks me about this all the time. They are pretty hectic and it's crazy to see that many people in one stadium. But in general, game days are like a day-long event for real. Especially if the game is like in the morning, it's like gonna be in the morning until like the evening. If it's like in the afternoon, that's a whole day event. So they can get pretty hectic. So just be very careful and be very cautious about like what you're doing during the day. If you're trying to go somewhere for real, you really gotta plan ahead. Or if you're trying to like order food, again, you gotta plan ahead because that DoorDash driver probably gonna drop your food off at like the nearest parking lot for real. Like the roads be blocked off and it's a whole thing. So just be very safe. But I will say they are very fun and everyone should at least experience one. You can buy tickets like the season passes like everyone be doing, or you can just buy the tickets on game day. They still sell them on game day for like 30 bucks. If you don't want to purchase a whole season pass, you can really just buy it for 30 bucks from the school. That being said, don't just go to the football game, but go to the other sports and like support them or like other fun events. They had like a wipeout event at the very beginning of the year. Me, I cannot swim, so I'm not gonna participate. They have swimming classes, by the way. I found that out. Anyways, go to like the basketball games, go to the women's games. The women be eating down every time. There's basically almost always something going on campus for real. You just gotta, you know, pay attention, but don't feel the need to go to everything because you still gotta study your books too. The last thing I would say is go to the involvement fair because the involvement fair happens twice a year, once a semester. Yeah, that makes sense. Basically, it's where you can meet all the orgs. I kind of talked about this in my last video. It is a really good way to network, to meet people, to get freebies. Like, guys, I got a plant last year. I got free shirts, free Chick-fil-A. Like, guys, do not skip out on the involvement fair. Go to the involvement fair. Even if you know what orgs are there first semester that you're there, even second semester, still go to at least kind of, you know, meet other orgs and maybe you'll find something that you didn't even think you could find. There are literally orgs for everything. Like there's a Pokemon club, a Harry Potter club. Like it gets crazy. So let's get into some scholar programs. So I am currently a Moral Scholars Program recipient. Definitely look for scholarships. Even if you have a scholarship, continue looking. It's just, oh, grace be to God. But that being said, continuously look for scholars and honors programs that you can be a part of. Just be careful of the ones that be coming into your spam because especially if you make honor roll, they will come heavy. Like I still have people emailing me to this day and it'll be like ones that I'm pretty sure aren't real. Always ask questions and like find out the truth before you sign up for anything. We're almost in the end here, so let's talk about resources and amenities. Buckeye Link. Buckeye Link is basically where you find everything that has to do with your like financial aid. It'll have your to-do list on there. It's kind of like the applicant center but just like called Buckeye Link, to be honest. Definitely make sure that you do anything that's on your to-do list because they will put a hold on your account for scheduling and for a bunch of other stuff if you do not get your stuff done. So make sure you do everything on that to-do list, guys. As for jobs, a lot of people do look for on-campus jobs and OSU offers a lot. A lot of people have had like pretty okay experiences with it. I would definitely recommend, especially if you don't want to go off campus to one of the off-campus locations on High Street or Short North to find a job. Resources are everywhere, so just ask people because one person is gonna know for sure. Like you kind of learn things as you go along, so definitely don't sleep on the resources or sleep on like talking to people and figuring stuff out. A few extras that I feel like are important to say: don't lose your Buck ID. Guys, your Buck ID literally unlocks everything. Like that's how you get into your dorm building. That's how, if your dorm doesn't have keys, that's how you get into your dorm room. That's how you can buy stuff. That's how you get stuff in general. Like they just came out with a barcode on the app, so yes, that can be helpful, but I don't think you can use it for absolutely everything yet. So definitely keep that card on you. Learn a few OSU basics like what scarlet and gray are. Those are the school colors. For example, the school song, you'll kind of learn it quickly. Like I feel like I still don't know the words for real, but if you ask me to sing it, I could give out a couple words. Simple stuff like that I didn't know personally, but like guys, make sure you know before you get there. Yeah, you'll kind of learn them through like block O even at the games. So just pay attention. You'll pretty much pick up on a lot of stuff. Finally, just to end off the video, I want to put y'all on creators that I love watching from OSU. But if there are any other creatives out there, definitely plug yourself down below or plug any businesses that you know because I'm gonna put y'all on every time. And I love when people put me onto different people on campus as well. So definitely plug yourself down below. that's basically it for today's video. Thank y'all so much for watching. I hope this really helped you out. If you like, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe for more videos from me, because they are coming, y'all. We getting all this back to school grind. And down below, I'll have just a link to some of the stuff I talked about in the video. So hopefully that helps y'all out as well. Yeah, make sure you follow me on all my socials, because I do be posting a lot when I am at school, especially because funny stuff just be going on all the time. So make sure you don't miss out on that, because it be so fun on campus, and I really can't wait to get. Just know that you are loved, not just by me, but by the God above, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.